I never thought a single Instagram story could change the way I looked at my marriage, but that's exactly how it started. My name is Marcus, I'm 39, and until that week, I believed I knew who my wife was. Evelyn and I had been married for 11 years. Not perfect, not dramatic, just steady. We had routines, shared jokes, and the kind of quiet understanding you only build over time. Or at least that's what I thought. The message came on a Tuesday afternoon. Evelyn texted me that she was going on a short trip, just 3 days, to clear her head. She said she needed space, fresh air, a break from work. I didn't question it. People need space sometimes. What she didn't mention was who she was going with. I found that out later, accidentally, scrolling through social media before bed. There it was, a photo of her at an airport lounge, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in months. The reflection in the glass behind her showed a man sitting close. I recognized him instantly. Daniel, her ex from before we met. The one she always described as immature, unreliable, someone she had outgrown. My chest tightened, but I told myself not to jump to conclusions. That night I barely slept. My mind replayed old conversations, moments that suddenly felt suspicious. The late nights, the guarded phone, the emotional distance I'd brushed off as stress. By morning, the doubt had settled in deep. I didn't want to confront her without facts, but I also couldn't ignore what I'd seen. If you've ever been in this position, take a second to like and share this story, because someone else might need to hear it too. I did something I never imagined myself doing. I searched for Daniel online and found his profile. Married, 2 kids. His wife's name was Laura. I stared at the screen before typing anything. I wasn't angry. I wasn't trying to start drama. I just wanted the truth. So I sent her a simple message, polite and direct, explaining who I was and asking if she knew Daniel was traveling with my wife. When her reply came, it was fast. Too fast. She said yes, she knew. She said they had planned the trip together. And no, she wasn't upset. That alone shocked me. According to her, Daniel and Evelyn had been reconnecting emotionally for months. She said she trusted him. I felt like the floor dropped out from under me. Not because of jealousy, but because of how casual it all sounded. Like this was normal. Like I was the only one who hadn't been informed of the new rules. At this point in the story, comment the word truth if you believe honesty should come before loyalty. Laura added something that stuck with me. She said, "Sometimes people outgrow their marriages." That line echoed in my head. Outgrow. As if years of commitment could just expire quietly without conversation. I thanked her and put my phone down, feeling calm and hollow at the same time. The rest of the day, I went through the motions. Work emails, meetings, small talk. Inside, something had shifted. It wasn't rage. It was clarity. Whether anything physical was happening or not, boundaries had already been crossed. Decisions had been made without me. That evening, Evelyn called me from the hotel. Her voice was light, almost cheerful. She talked about the view, the food, how good it felt to get away. I listened, saying very little. She never mentioned Daniel. I never mentioned Laura. When we hung up, I sat alone, realizing I was already being treated like an outsider. Before we go further, share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think emotional connections with exes are harmless? Or do they cross a line once you're married? I didn't have an answer yet, but I knew this wasn't about a trip anymore. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, understanding something I had avoided for years. Silence, when chosen repeatedly, becomes a decision. And decisions, even quiet ones, eventually demand a response from the person left waiting in the dark. The next morning, I woke up early and went for a long walk before work. The city was quiet, the kind of quiet that lets your thoughts get loud. I replayed Laura's words again and again. Outgrow their marriages. It sounded clinical, almost polite, but underneath it was a justification. I realized something uncomfortable then. Evelyn hadn't just taken a trip. She had already emotionally checked out, and this was simply the first time I was forced to see it clearly. Later that day, Laura messaged me again. This time, her tone was different, less confident. She asked how I was holding up. I told her the truth. I said I felt blindsided, confused, and strangely calm. She replied that she admired my composure. Then she said something I didn't expect. She admitted she wasn't as okay with the situation as she'd first claimed. She said she'd agreed to the trip because she didn't want to seem insecure. That was the moment everything clicked. 2 marriages, slowly eroding, held together by silence and avoidance. No villains, no heroes, just people choosing comfort over honesty. I thanked her for being honest and told her I wished her strength. When I put my phone down, I knew what I had to do next. When Evelyn came home 2 days later, I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse her. I asked her to sit down and talk. She looked surprised, maybe even relieved. I told her I knew about the trip, about Daniel, about Laura. For a moment, she said nothing. Then she admitted that she felt alive again around him, that it wasn't physical, but it was real to her. I listened without interrupting. When she finished, I told her something calmly. I said emotional intimacy isn't harmless just because it doesn't involve touch. I said trust doesn't disappear in one dramatic moment. It erodes quietly when respect is replaced with secrecy. She cried. I didn't. We talked for hours. About us. About what we'd become. About what we hadn't said for years. In the end, we agreed on something painful but honest. We were no longer choosing each other. And pretending otherwise would only turn resentment into cruelty. That night, I slept in the guest room. Not out of anger, but out of acceptance. The next week, we began the process of separating with dignity. No public fights. No revenge. Just 2 adults facing the consequences of their choices. Laura later told me she confronted Daniel, and their marriage was now in serious trouble. Hearing that didn't make me feel better. It just made me sad for everyone involved. Months have passed since then. I've learned something important in the quiet aftermath. Loyalty isn't just about not cheating. It's about protecting the emotional boundaries of your relationship. And self-respect isn't loud. Sometimes it looks like walking away calmly when you realize you're no longer included in your own marriage. If this story resonated with you, please like this video, comment your honest opinion, and subscribe for more real stories about relationships, boundaries, and self-respect, because these conversations matter and you're not alone in them. Today, I don't hate Evelyn. I don't hate Daniel. I don't even hate Laura. I just understand now that love without transparency turns into something fragile and temporary. I'm rebuilding my life slowly, carefully, with a clearer understanding of what I deserve and what I'm willing to accept. Sometimes the most surprising answers don't come from confrontation, but from quiet honesty. And sometimes the moment you stop begging for clarity is the moment it finally arrives.